Celeste. Well, welcome back to the Edge broadcast.
Well, it's nice to be here. I was hoping to see you in person, but I had a few emergencies like a broken tooth and I needed to get it fixed.
Oh
So I had
man,
to
hey,
dart home.
well, I'm glad to have you on the show. So let's listen. We've got a poll on the Edge's website. It's called "What is the Beast?" and people can choose between AI computer, Joe Biden, mRNA vaccine, Satan microchip, or digital currency. Just starting off on a lighter note, which one do you think the beast is?
Um, can you say them again one
Yeah,
more
well,
time?
I mean, you could have your own idea, but we're talking about because in the Book of
Right.
Revelation it does
I
talk
know.
about the beast. It says so. The is it the AI computer, Joe Biden, mRNA vaccine, Satan, microchip, or digital currency?
The beast is the quantum computer.
The quantum computer. I'm more in the I'm there too on that too as far as the computer goes. Just seems to me that they're getting ready to rig everything out of some big massive. You always hear these stories about the computer is named the beast and that kind of thing, and you hear the Pope's got a telescope called Satan or something. So there's always some kind of connection with that.
Lucifer. Lucifer.
Oh, Lucifer, well, same deal. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the difference between Lucifer and Satan? That's his brother, or what? Who is that? What's going on here?
No, it's the same. It's like you might have a nickname and
Mm-hmm.
you know. I think Lucifer is when he was the good angel
Mm-hmm.
and he hadn't fallen. Satan is when he fell. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
my understanding, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, welcome to the show. I mean, last time we had you on, we were talking about nanobots and graphene oxide, brain eating amoebas. And I think, well, those things are pretty bad. I think it's only getting worse from there. And I don't even know how it could get worse.
That's what I'm right. I spent all day writing an article. It's going to take me 3 days just because it's so technical that I have to put it in layperson language.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't just dish out the technology, even though I've been following it. But it's pretty bad. But it's along the messenger RNA
Mm-hmm.
line.
Mm-hmm.
So
So I take it that you're not in favor of taking any kind of uh, shot.
no, I am vaccine free. Even my dog is vaccine free.
And it seems to me we just had a guest on recently who said they'd got their dog back. So I don't know. It can get pretty gnarly out there.
Well, you have consequences. So when I went on this speaking tour that I just got back from, I had to take her with because I can't board her. I can't do anything with her. She can't do anything without the vaxes.
Mm.
So she's my companion. So
I know what's your doggy's name?
Miss Zippy.
Miss Zippy. Okay.
Yeah. And she
Alrighty.
even has her own fan club and everything.
Kind of reminds me. I was looking at plumbing the other day, and I saw this thing called Snappy Plumbing. So I don't know what the difference is. That is Snappy, Snippy, Dippy. I don't know. It's going crazy. Um. So is there signs? Is there signs out there? Well, let's just start with this way. Are there celestial signs out there of any impending doom to the earth?
Yeah, and there's more and more. They kicked off the vaccination actually with they called on the sweet influences of the stars, which meant that um there was this alignment of planets and stars that potentiated the effects of the vaccine
Mm-hmm.
or the gene editing tool or whatever you want to call it. So that was interesting. And so now we're going into this other time. We are about ready to have a eclipse. We're going to have a series of three eclipses. They're not going to be very visible, but the last time this particular arrangement happened was during the plague of hail with fire. And when you have two eclipses in 1 month, it means that it's a dark time upon the face of the earth.
Mm.
So, kind of interesting. Yeah. So we're basically being set. The the signs in the heavens are kind of indicating we're going to go through another 10 plagues or similar. The 10 plagues were the template.
Hmm.
Revelation has its
Hmm.
own unique, but some of them overlap and are parallel.
Have we gone through any plague now? I mean, what kind of plague are we talking about?
Well, so I just wrote about the plague of insects, my latest post.
Hmm.
Is it food or is it a weapon? Because they want us to all eat these like bugs,
Hmm.
but what they're not telling people is that they're coming from the Manhattan, Kansas BSL-4 lab that has an insectary, and DARPA and all these people have been weaponizing the bugs. So
Hmm.
the public isn't being told that these are weaponized bugs.
Hmm. What about these bugs? Uh, I think it started with some lambs in China going around in a circle, but now they say there's bugs going around in circles. What is going? And some say birds are going around in circles. So chickens going around in circles. What's going on with these animals and these bugs?
Well, most animals, humans don't have it so much, but our magnetosphere is wandering, and well, the magnetic poles are wandering. And so they're just a lot of things are off. And animals use that for navigation purposes and echolocation, like bats and different animals and fish and migration.
Hmm.
And all that is being disrupted.
Hmm.
Now, this particular um, thing that's happening is a cyclical thing, it's a 12,000 year event. And so not it's not something that man is doing. It is something that is in God's domain. But I'm sure that like 5G, 6G, Ouija up there in the heavens or in the very low orbiting satellites, and now they've got another one that I'm going to write an article
Hmm.
on called Astarte. They're actually manifesting the gods of the pantheon between DARPA and NASA.
Well, I know there's probably some people down San Francisco going around in a circle too, but that's probably because they're on fentanyl. So you can't know about that. Hey, we got a couple questions coming in for you. By the way, anybody watching the show, if you want to get a question to Celeste, put it in the live chat, and it'll come to us from our Jade, our moderator here. From Put Yahweh First says, Celeste, did your father work at Naval Air and Warfare Center in Potomac, Maryland?
No, he didn't. He worked at the Naval Warfare Center on Point Loma.
Mm. Because, as a matter of fact, this questioner here, viewer, said they deliver steel there. All right, got another one for you. It says, Celeste, where is it you go that angel messengers fear to go? Where is that place?
It's a place that, if you want the truth, anywhere on the internet, but it's shutting down. I mean, they don't. As soon as something becomes operational now, it disappears. So I have to be on my toes to snap this stuff and save it either as a hard link or screenshot it because it's just disappearing like crazy. But the places I don't want to give my sources because then I won't be able to go there anymore
Mm-hmm.
and get the good stuff.
So, are you on Twitter?
No, I used to be on Twitter, but they I am one of the most censored people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to, no more social media, no more YouTube. It sometimes takes an hour to get even a landline interview these days, because they'll jam it. It's quite incredible. But
Mm-hmm.
that means you're over the target, so I'm not worried about it.
It does, and you're on this show too, so you're still out there. That is great. Um, Believe says, can you define FEMA certified? I guess that's in your bio. FEMA certified. What does that mean?
Well, when you take various courses and they have different expertises, you get awards, you get certificates, and so that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you would at college or
Mm-hmm.
high school, you get your diploma. but it's a little more advanced than high school.
Okay. This question is from Rose. She says, Celeste, is there any way we can rid our body of the stuff like nanotechnology? And don't they put this same nanotechnology in our, are they putting this nanotechnology in our food?
Yes, the World Economic Forum at the beginning of 2021 said that it was going to be in the entire food supply by the end of the year. And at the end of the year, they did say that they had completed that. So it is in the food. It is, they have aerosolized it in 2021 as well. And now they are putting it in the water as a water filtration system on the war on plastics.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. So now to the question though, is there any way to rid ourselves if we've been infected by it?
I'm really changing my prayer life. I am, whether it's this glass of water right here, or my food, or the air that I breathe. I just tell, I give thanks to the Lord for his provision of whatever it is, air, water, food. And then I ask him to filter it and make it pure and
Mm-hmm.
to remove anything, because I've done what I can do. Because it's ubiquitous, it's everywhere. So now, once we have a choice, once we're at that point, and we are at that point, you either can turn to the living God and ask for his help, which is what I'm doing every time, or you turn and you will make a fist at him and go your own way and say, heck with it. I'm going to go eat my pizza, processed pizza,
Mm-hmm.
and go for it.
So I got fruit trees, and
Mm-hmm.
there's always like a black kind of spots on the apples. Now, is that from jet fuel, or is that chemtrails, or is that fungus? You know, I know you're in the gardening heavy too, but what do you think that is? It usually can wipe it off too, I think, if I rub real hard.
You can wipe it off.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably residue from all of there's not only geoengineering operations up there, there are others. There's sound sound rockets, and they have a various different dyes that they're using. And what they do is they shoot these little rockets up, or they do it by balloon, and
Mm-hmm.
then they see how the airflow is over different places. And then they have the make sunsets.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys talked about the make sunsets?
No.
Okay, so they were putting sulfur up. They were going to launch it from Mexico in January. And, we became the North American Union in January. Only they call it DNA now. Yeah, they do. Look from the White House. Have your technician. It's a White House. They did it about mid-January. But anyway, make sunsets is this sulfuric thing. And finally, the Mexican government said, heck no, if you Americans want to shoot sulfur up into your atmosphere, because what happens? One, there's a lot of biological damage to us. It hurts our respiratory system.
Mm-hmm.
It can actually shut down our organs. But it it it's just not good. And all these particulates are adding up in the environment to make snowball earth, to make it cool. They
Mm-hmm.
keep saying climate change. They've, backed off of the global warming, but it's actually snowball earth, where it becomes just a frozen globe.
Mm. All right. How about this one here from Doreen? Says, is Nibiru inbound towards the Earth?
I have not heard anything credible on the burrow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, and I noticed, I saw a report not too long ago that said they're going to try to put something in the food or in the plants. I know they're crossing. Similar, I just saw another one where they're trying to cross an alligator with a frog or some who knows what kind. Oh no, it's a catfish. So I don't know what kind of thing and what the purpose is of that. But now that kind of reminds me of a video from Veritas that just was dropped not in the last couple of days, that some freak from Pfizer said that they're wanting to create a different strain of the cooties 19 virus so they can get ahead of it. Now that sounds like we're all going to be safe if they're over there creating variants of that thing, don't you think? They won't get out of the lab, would it?
Oh, we'll get out of the lab. And actually, the goal is to, there's something called the Athena Agenda, and it came out in April of last year, and it calls for 20,000 vaccinations per person, and that's only 1% of what they want to give you. They want you to not have any bugs of any kind.
Yeah.
So they are working up a storm. They are crossing the species. It's called xenotransplantation, and then they're putting it in. That will be covered in this big article that I'm writing right now.
I was just thinking, man, there could be an advantage here, man, because two of my favorite foods is steak and shrimp, and I'm just wondering if they can mix a cow with a shrimp, and I can have both in the same, in the same thing. I mean, is that possible? Can I look at the bright side here?
But then it's going to change your DNA, and you're going to be part Daniel Ott, part shrimp, and part cow. So there you go.
Wow.
Because it will become one with you. So there you go.
Wow. Okay. We will become one with the shrimp.
Yeah, but you don't want to go down that rabbit trail.
Nah, I guess not. All right. I'll just eat eat the way God made it, but I mean, look, I know they've been messing with tomatoes for a long time. They like a codfish DNA or something. They said, well, the reason we're trying to put fish DNA in the tomatoes is so that make it cold hardy. So I don't know about that. I don't think it did anything for it. What does that even mean? All right, here's a question. What is the mark of the beast? Is it the microchip, the COVID vaccine, or RFID? I think you kind of answered that earlier, but maybe we need more information on that.
So I believe that the mark, which is distinguished from the beast, is I do believe that it is the gene editing, because what it does is it takes you away from being a human into a hybrid. And Jesus didn't die for hybrids. If you go down that rabbit hole, then you have to say, okay, Jesus died for aliens, and
Mm-hmm.
What happens when they give robotics human characteristics like human blood and things? Are they going to is there going to be salvation for that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it opens Pandora's box. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that most definitely is the mark. And I know, as far as me, there's a lot of things I can't buy or sell because of that little incident in Montana where I wouldn't wear a mask, and it had a lot of consequences that I'm still paying to this day. I had banks fire me. I can't get an attorney. I couldn't shop in Montana. So yeah, it's
Now
it's getting serious.
So has that followed you to the state you're in now?
Yes, it has.
Well,
I had two banks here. Well, my Montana bank fired me, and my North Dakota bank. Well, they said you can keep your money here, but you can't touch it. So who wants to do that? What good is that?
Wow. So now, have you got any threatening emails, or do you just, things happen to you, like, you go to the bank and they say, well, we can't get you an account right now, or this type of, kind of these little.
Oh, no, it's the manager calling me up and saying we have had secret meeting and you're high risk, so we're terminating you as a client.
High risk. What do you think
high risk?
What do you think your risk is to them?
Social credit score. They don't like that I do alt media and that I expose things. Mm-hmm. I'm sure that it's tied to social credit.
Well, I think that social credit thing is just probably already in place. Somebody just looking for a reason to throw the switch. And I would say the cumulative data of every text and every phone call and email that's ever been put out is probably already sitting in some monster computer somewhere for them to make the evaluation, and assign that social score. But I think it'd probably be rolled out in some national emergency. And if that's the case, what do you think? What type of national emergency are we most likely to see?
Boy, they've got everything in play right now. everything. I mean, they've got weather wars are ramping up. This whole famine thing is ramping up. Of course, they're talking about the next pandemic in 2025. I don't believe that.
Hmm.
The military wants everybody depopulated, all the old humans.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean our age. It means an old human is created by a man, woman, and God. So they want
Hmm.
those all depopulated by 2025. So we have to have a plague before that. But just today, there's a whole lot of activity in the Middle East. Have you seen that? Attacks in Israel.
Well,
Um, uh,
that's every day over there, isn't it? That's an average day over there, isn't it?
well, 7 people were killed. And then now Iran, there's some explosions going off in Iran. So I don't know what's going on over there. It was later this
Well,
afternoon.
that might be,
So
but just realistically though, I mean, California, an Asian guy went crazy and killed 7 people. So I mean, we got our own murderers over here. We don't have to have terrorists.
yeah, tell me
Although we
about
do,
it. I'm just glad I got out of Atlanta when I did before the big shooting over there. So
and there's that. So of course, the shootings are always in places where there's the most gun control. So, hey, I know what AOC wants to take everybody's gas stoves. Do you have a gas stove, and are you willing to give it up, Celeste?
no, I don't have a stove right now, and it's minus 10 degrees. Um, so I have this electric fake fireplace back here that has a heater, and that's something that I'm going to be working on is getting. I've tried for 2 years
Wait, wait,
to get
wait. So is that real, or is that a background there?
it. It's not real. It's a fake one, but it has a little heater in it.
Yeah, I got one of them. It's the greatest thing ever, man. I put it in my fireplace because I got tired of having the real ones. But hey, it's the same effect, man. I watched that thing and thinking I'm watching a real fireplace. Looks great. Got it from Amazon, man. How do you know that? But what do you? Well, let's rewind. What do you don't have a stove?
Well, see, I had to relocate from Montana, and I only had 48 hours to buy a house. So when you have 48 hours, you have to get a house. So I have a fireplace, but I have to get a contractor, but there's no contractors in North Dakota. So um, if somebody would like to come and help me out, I've got a Amish wood cook stove and I have a fireplace, but they need to be put in. And
So
well,
what's going on in North Dakota? There's no men out there that can fix stuff, or what they all chasing cows, or what's happening?
so what happens? There's a pecking order in North Dakota.
Okay.
You do family and friends first, and then rich people. And if
Okay.
there's anything left over, then But
Huh.
mostly, I live like 2 hours from a city,
Mm-hmm.
so um there's not many
Now, see,
contractors
I
here.
know exactly what you're saying, okay? Because we were down in Dale Hollow, Tennessee, Dale Hollow,
Mhm.
Kentucky, and at the lake, and there's a real nice lake, and so I'm thinking, okay, man, I might want to move here. Let me just check this thing out. So I'm driving around looking for houses for sale and this and that and other, and got to talking to one guy, and is like there's this little one room little shack looking thing, and there was like $350,000. And I said, now who's going to buy that? I said, well, here's the thing. Okay, you're going to pay $350,000 because you're not from here and you're not from around here, and they're going to know that, and then you good luck trying to get something fixed because down here you got to know somebody, and everybody knows each other, and then everybody else they're just picking them off the highway, seeing what they can get. So I know exactly what you're talking about on that kind of pecking order thing there. Well, hopefully you'll find somebody to at least get you through, man. I mean, I don't know, maybe you get a barrel and cut it in half, and you can turn it into some kind of stove or something. I don't know.
It takes a husband or a friend, and there isn't. I live in a town of 49 people, and they're mostly 80 and above. So,
Well,
I it just is the way that it is. I'm grateful and thankful for a house,
well, there you go.
and so I'm going to stick with that.
Okay. All right. Here's another question for you. What do you know about the Blue Street Light conspiracy theorists are talking about, and what do you think they were for? Have you heard of it? The
Oh, yeah.
I haven't heard of it. What's going on here?
Okay, so basically the manufacturer says, "Oh, it's just a defect. We're going to come the manufacturer's going to replace them. You're going to get your old incandescent lights back." But that's not the truth. The truth is that it is all 5G'd, and it does have biometrics, and it will read your, like, if you don't have all your things in your wallet protected, like credit cards or debit cards or whatever, your phone, it can identify you. And once we get to the point of of the social credit score,
Hmm.
it also has the ability to take people out with a direct energy weapon.
Oh, man, I don't want to get hit with that. All right, hey, got another question for you. Let's get over here. It says, does the brain-eating amoeba from the
Mhm.
BP oil spill, from when they dumped the synthetic DNA from the J. Craig Ventnor synthetic genomics in the Gulf of Mexico?
I don't know that it was from them, but they were on their way to experimenting with
Hmm.
different technology and that type of thing.
Hmm. In
Uh,
another bad news, looks like the libtards are trying to go after the lobsters on the East Coast. Whole Foods just dropped buying any kind of lobster from the East Coast, but then all of a sudden Joe Biden has a big soiree when everybody's eating lobster over there. But there's been whales starting to wash up on beaches. Now, is there something? Is that Fukushima, or is that the wind generator machines they got out there putting vibrations, killing the whales? What are causing the whales to die and wash up on shore?
there's a lot of technology that's in the sea, a lot of sensors, artificial fish. It's not only artificial humans, artificial plants, artificial animals that they want. I mean, they want artificial fish too, and so they want it all wiped out. This was hatched at Asilomar, which is near Monterey, California, in 1975. And the only media to cover it was Rolling Stone magazine, and they said, "You idiots," on their cover of Rolling Stone magazine, and they dressed Congress down because of it.
Hmm. All right, we have this from Sneaker. Celeste, can you give your thoughts on the Cove Nom 19 documentary? Covenom? Maybe it's a misspelling. Don't know.
I haven't seen that
Or
documentary.
alrighty. Um, Now they are trying to put massive, and they already have massive amounts of wind generators out in the sea,
Yep.
and those things aren't even generating wind like they're supposed to. But is it possible that they are generating some sort of waves that's
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I mean, we've got 5G kicking in, we've got 6G kicking in, we've got all these things, sensor creatures in the ocean, and then we've got those wind things out there in the ocean. So yeah, it is very possible. And then
mm,
we've got all the equipment that sends out um, frequencies, to communicate with the
mm-hmm.
submarines.
Yeah,
So there's a lot of things, and that's been hurting the dolphins and the whales for a long time.
so I noticed that the wind generator fields out west have been killing all sorts of eagles. Now, all of a sudden, the environmentalists are okay with that. They don't seem to mind that the eagles, even though if you went and shot an eagle, it'd cost you $10,000 fine and 2 years in jail. But a windmill can just slap them right in the head and knock them out of the sky, and there's all kinds of dead eagles around. All of a sudden, it's okay. What's up with that?
Because it's worship the earth, and if you do it, you're a dirty human. There was what did I get today? It was just, oh, I was another dirty human, thing, and I just
Hmm.
get so frustrated with
Well,
it.
that
uh,
goes on. That goes my old theory here because all the people that run around the world saying we got too many people on the planet. I noticed they won't post abortion themselves to decrease the population. When they're talking about decreased population, they're talking about everybody else. That they're
right.
fine with they self, but I'm thinking, hey, if you really believe in depopulation, why don't you start with your damn self? All right,
That's my philosophy as well.
or you could say that about abortion. I went off earlier on the Randy points on that, but I noticed that the people that are for abortion are already born, so it's kind of ironic. All right, are we close to a pole shift?
Probably with by 2050, but or next week, but probably it would probably be in the 30s or 30s, 40-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but our sun is kicking up right now, and we all have to take note because our grid can go down in a hot flash second.
Mm-hmm.
And so the
Back to
last
the
time
Stone
it did
Age.
was 1859, and we only had telegraphs, and it burnt the telegraphs down to well, it just took the telegraphs out. Imagine what it will do for this. And so the sun has been acting very violently, very agitated.
Oh,
And, we're going into a period. Plus, we've got the galactic electric current sheet coming
well,
upon us. So that'll be interesting.
I don't think it's a good idea to aggravate the sun. I mean,
Well, there's
I'm
not
just
much we
saying.
can.
I'm just saying. I'm not sure that's a good deal there. I'll tell you what, though. For those of you just joining the program, we have on our newsmaker line via Zoom video Celeste Solum. We're talking about nanobots, brain eating amoebas, you name it, everything you don't want to know about, but you have to know about. But we also have a poll, as I said earlier, and the poll is changing, and it always changes because we always make the poll that sort of toward the guest of what the topic is. So in the What is the Beast section, those of you who joined the program, go to take the poll. But right now, 30, 34% believe that the AI supercomputer is the beast. And then 31% say Joe Biden is. Now, I got to take issue with that. I think that's just some haters, okay? because that cranky old crypt keeping skull man, hair plug, hair sniffing, curly hair, leg hair guy there, that the only person known in the world to fall upstairs going to an airplane 3 times, fall off his bike. I mean, I don't know, man. This guy, he drove a semi truck. He was in World War I. He was back in Nam. I mean, this guy was everywhere. But I don't see him as a beast. I mean, he's a beast in the sense of a retard. So, I mean, that's pretty beastie. I mean, but I don't see where, I mean, he's a gnarly dude. I mean, nobody like him. He don't even like himself. Okay. I know he got something
I
going
don't,
on. He got something
I
going on
don't,
with,
I don't think he has the brain to be the beast.
no, you have to have a brain. So those of you that just clicking Joe Biden, now that was the joke. That was the joke. Because in the poll questions we always kind of impregnate like a little joke poll answer in there, and then people take it like it's true. But they should know this show by now. That something like that's going to be in there because it's me. I'm a cowboy, and I'm going to stick something in a poll like that. But anyway, so at least the computer's beating Joe Biden now. Like I say, I know he got something going on with Hunter. He had, got done with Ashley. Never mind, we won't talk about that. All right, so here we go. Now, somebody just asked, what is the mark of the beast? So I guess if you got a beast, is it? So you got a beast, but is the mark the beast mark? So you got a beast. Is it his mark? I mean, is he the
Yes.
one that owns it? He's the one that, the progenitor, the guy rolling it out.
Yep.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
So it's not a separate thing. They're like related.
Well, yeah. Yeah. So I did an article on it. There's actually, um, with these nanoparticles that they're putting in the gene editing tool, um, also known as a VAX, it has a foundation, then it has a substrate, and they actually can write in there. They can have a change of ownership of who you are, or they could draw pictures of themselves like Michelangelo did, or a lot of the famous artists. And then they have an encryption layer, and then that goes into our bodies.
Oh,
And so that's one reason that I won't take it,
mm-hmm.
because
Well,
it's a change of, it's like the legal papers for the beast.
mm,
Think of it this way.
mm-hmm. And this thing there is some legality to this whole thing. Um, And like I've posed this question to other guests, and that is, it seems that if somebody wanted to give the shot out, they could make people do it, but somehow or another, they want you to okay it. They want your agreement to it.
Yes.
There's some kind of supernatural component to this that requires them to get your permission. And of course, a lot of people are giving it permission. Now, one of the viewers kind of clarified about our earlier question from another viewer that they were probably talking about covenom 19. That is, I think that's there's another guy on the internet who's always talking about snake venom in
Oh,
there.
Dr. Artis.
What was it?
Dr. Artis.
Yeah. So I mean, is there snake venom?
So I was telling people in 2019 that there was going to be snake venom in it. So,
Mm.
yeah. Both in the construct, the SARS-CoV-2 construct, as well as the therapeutic or treatment.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to see snake venom and all sorts of venoms in even our vegetables as they roll out these vaccines into our food supply.
Hmm. Well, now there's a movie with a rock in it called The Scorpion King. He got shot with an arrow dipped in scorpion venom, but I think it gave him superpowers, man. So,
Yeah, but you don't want to, yeah, that superpowers go with the supercomputer. And we are very happy as what God gives us.
mm,
We are very happy. We don't need to be augmented or enhanced.
uh-huh. Well, I agree with you there. Yeah, I kind of like the way God made me myself, but and one of the people's name is Dr. Brian Artis. I think he was talking about that. Stu Peters,
Yep.
I think, was another one talking about that. Now, another person in the live chat watching the show says that theory's been debunked, but I always kind of smile when I see something debunked because it's like, how much stuff have I heard is debunked? Like the Hunter laptop uh, was debunked that it was real. That's debunked. You know, people having heart attacks has been debunked. People dropping dead has been debunked. And so every time I hear that, it's like, well, who are these debunkers, man? It sounds to me their own mouth needs to be debunked because they ain't making no sense anyway. They're just saying stuff to fill time and make their point to say, well, and they never say who it is anyway, or who the fact checkers are. Who's fact checking the
Yeah.
fact checkers? It's like, who picks the fact checkers is like a Supreme Court judge. If you want a conservative ruling, you're going to appoint a conservative judge, and that's the crazy thing about this country. If you want a liberal ruling, you're going to. So you're not hardly ever getting somebody that's untainted that can look straight and narrow down what the Constitution says. Is always tainted one way or another. Of course, I prefer that they taint toward the good side, rather than the dark side. But I'd also say, okay, well, if that's exactly what it says, the exact interpretation, then whether it be for me or whether it be against me, I will abide by it. But I will not abide by somebody that said, well, I don't really like it, and I'm going to change the law because I don't like the Constitution. And there are those justices that do that.
Yeah, they rule from the bench, and that's not the way we were set up. They personally, I believe they should be escorted to a different country other
Mm,
than ours.
mm,
That's my 2 cents on it.
okay. Okay. Do you think the asteroid Apophis is the fiery mountain mentioned in Revelations?
I don't know. I might have a different take on that passage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what do you think? What do you think? Um, uh, the brimstone is about when the Earth's going to be hit with brimstone. What is that?
Well, isn't that brimstone like sulfur that
Yeah.
comes from the sky
Yeah. Is
that
that?
hit Sodom and Gomorrah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Okay.
And the penalty for adultery is stoning.
I think
So
I think I was searching for words there. What I was trying to get to was wormwood. What is that?
here's my take. Do you want my take?
I just asked you. Hit me.
Okay, I'll hit you. So my take is, so what is a messenger or an angel often called in the Bible?
Uh, angel, spirit.
A messenger.
Oh well, yeah. You said okay. Yeah, sure.
So messenger and wormwood is bitter. And
Okay.
if you remember when Moses went and the children of Israel, and they went to that one of the places, encampments, and the water was bitter. And this wormwood makes the waters of the people or the earth bitter. What are we mostly made of?
Water.
Water.
Okay.
And
Got it.
so I'm wondering if this wormwood, this fiery mountain, it's huge,
Mm-hmm.
is this messenger RNA that is going to create an ecological disaster because it's going to go ubiquitous through humans, animals, plants, everywhere, and the water will be bitter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people are dying. Not, I'm not talking taste bitter. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking, where it's not good for your body.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't be in your body.
Mm.
So.
Well, the Book of Revelations does say that a third part of the sea or the fish will die. I mean, are we seeing the sort of the sputtering of that full blown one third, and so we'll have whales die and manatees die in another place and sharks dying in another place? Are
I've
these?
I've seen a lot of birds of prey around here. As I was driving home from the East Coast,
Mhm.
I saw a lot of like hawks and eagles and stuff just dead at the side of the road. I mean, it was beyond coincidence to see that many.
Mhm. So in your trip, did you have any what some people call synchronicities, magical moments that showed that you were on the right path?
Oh, absolutely. I only had one bad experience in the whole trip. It was a real blessing, to talk with people and get to meet a lot of my followers and get to see
Mm-hmm.
their homes and their families and how they live and immerse myself in Southern hospitality,
Mm-hmm.
which put a few pounds on me.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, it was, I guess I'm not used to eating that well or that much, but they really do have Southern hospitality in the South.
Mm. Well, the Southern hospitality is good there. Um, so, no, I have found in my life's journey that it seems like when something bad happens or seems to be bad or delayed, there's always something good comes out of it. So I've kind of learned to kind of roll with it, but you know, it's not always that easy. So we know that they're trying to change the DNA of the humans. They're trying to turn us into some kind of cyborg freaks and tie us into 5G network. Now, some people claim, Celeste, that you can take your cell phone and I haven't done this, but you can take your cell phone in a cemetery and you can go by somebody's grave, and if they have the messenger RNA, that you will get a hotspot signal from them from the corpse. Have you heard that?
I haven't heard that.
I mean, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's some good stuff. That's good internet stuff right there. Okay.
Right there. Yeah.
I mean, that's internet gold, Celeste. So, I
So
mean,
I better hop on it and do some research.
that is internet gold. So if you can get a hotspot from a corpse, okay. I mean, come on now, you're here. But I'm just saying, it's a thing. Okay, it's a thing. Now my Android does pick up a lot of hotspots. So I'm thinking,
Dead
what is
people? Are they
this?
dead people?
What is this? Unless there's dead people, I see dead people. But by people watching the show in the live chat, if you heard that, just put a quick yes in there. I can't be the only one, but maybe it's breaking here first. But anyway, that's internet gold. So Celeste, man, do your next study on that, man, and get a lot of clicks and likes on that. But okay, so a lot of bad stuff. How do we stay safe in the current world environment that we live in here? I mean, what's your? I know you believe in divine protection.
Yeah.
Um, can you ever tell if like say there's somebody coming after you, but they get deflected? Or is it you never even know that?
Well, I've had my hits, I've had 3 assassination attempts since 2020. So the enemy throws his fiery darts my way, but they don't complete their task. I mean, well, I'm supposed to be very careful how I do my words, so I'm going to
Okay.
follow the Lord's advisement on that. But,
Okay.
it doesn't have the impact. It doesn't put me down. It doesn't take me down. There's, at the end of my calling,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus will take me home, and that's nothing can touch me until then.
Mm-hmm.
Do I get bumped around and jostled around a bit? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But this is Earth. We live in this terrestrial plane.
Man. So yes, in this life you should have trouble, but fear not.
Yep.
Fear not. That's the whole thing. I
That's
think I
it.
think fear empowers the enemy, and we can't let that happen. You
Yep.
know, and I always like to tell this story that I read about history that when the Christians in the Roman days were thrown in the Colosseum, um, and they would be ripped apart by the animals, the tigers, whatever, for the enjoyment of the crowd. That the Romans would say, if you deny this Christ, because they were trying to eliminate Christianity, that they would let him go. Well, the what they said basically was that some Christians did. They were crying and begging for mercy, but then there's this other set of Christians that refused to, and from a secular observer of the time wrote, they wore their chains as a necklace, and people literally jumped from the stands into the Colosseum, ran to them, and wanted to know what gave them such faith. Who was it that they believed in so much that they would not cower? Which is a story that I just think is relevant today. That we need to be that type of Christian. If you call on the name of Jesus, then if they lead you to the guillotine, you say, "Well, praise God, I get to see God earlier than scheduled." And besides that, it's a confirmation of the Word of God, absolutely, as it is written. And there's a certain good place for those people who meet their end that way.
Yeah. One, you should never have fear because we're to fear only God. And that's a holy fear. It's not the fear that we have, like of, being killed or whatever. But I've heard also many, many stories about peaceful ends. Um, David had a peaceful end. My beloved husband, who was waiting up there for me,
Mm,
although we won't be married then, but
mm,
um, he had a very peaceful. They said the paramedics, there were about 24 of them, said that they had never seen anyone die so peacefully as he died.
mm, mm,
So,
mm,
so you can have peace in the midst of the fiery furnace. Look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and Jesus was with them in the fiery furnace.
mm.
So
Well,
that should encourage us.
it does say, don't fear the evil people. Fear him who can cast both the body and the soul into hell. That's the one you need to be fearing. So, all right. So we didn't get any takers on the corpse hotspots. Okay, so I stand alone in that, and so but that is fine. I will do it. I will stand alone and make that proclamation. But I want somebody to go out there and try and then text me on that. Now, so I was killed off on YouTube. They just killed my show over there. Hundreds without warning, hundreds of videos just gone. Years worth of work, years worth of interviews. Although I happen to have a copy. But anyways, I'm over here on Rumble now. So my question to you is, and has anything you've ever said been deleted or banned or any warnings given from Rumble?
No, not from Rumble.
Hmm.
Uh,
Okay.
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay. Not yet. Okay. All right. So, all right. So what's the next thing we're getting ready to see? What's in the cooker with these crack pots?
I think we're going to see a lot of bio this year. I think we're going to see war. We're going to see famine. I think that spiritual persecution is this year. I think we're going to see the start of it,
Mm-hmm.
because the eco thing is now a religion. It's out there. It's got its. If you were in a boxing, if they've got the I don't know, gloves on, and they're punching. And if we don't bow down to serving Mother Earth and their agenda, they're going to come at us
Mm-hmm.
like
Well, see,
crazy.
there you go. That's what I said about depopulation and abortion. The people that are for abortion are already born. The people for depopulation, they won't remove themselves from the population. And the people that talk about climate change are flying around in jets,
Yeah.
polluting the atmosphere. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's like it's all backwards. It's kind of like do as we tell you, and we're going to do whatever we want. Kind of like when I said Joe Biden went out there and had a big lobster fest right after Whole Foods banned them, which is they got some lunatic said, hey, you can't have a lobster because there's a fish somewhere that might get snagged somewhere in a net somewhere. Therefore, just eliminate the whole industry. I mean, this is how these people work.
Yeah, I know it was, but the handwriting was on the wall in the beginning of 2020 when that I showed that spike protein that said COVID-19, and there were 200 spikes around it. They said that they were going to take out our food supply, and they're doing that.
Mm.
One way, they're taking out the food processors, they're making it hard for the cattle people. You can't fish, you can't do this, you can't. Now you're just supposed to eat vegetables and have some lab weaponized bugs.
Mm.
And that's what your diet's supposed to be.
Yeah. Now, if you had to eat bugs, Celeste, what would be your favorite bug to eat?
I wouldn't eat a bug.
You wouldn't eat a bug? Okay.
No, I wouldn't eat a bug. Although I have had gnats fly in my mouth before.
Well, who hasn't? Okay. So you see this DNA thing in the background here.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. The other day, for the first time ever, I saw a chemtrail that looked just like that DNA strand. Now, there's no way. I'm used to seeing them crisscross. I've seen them make stars. Um, but then I saw a DNA strand looking. I'm thinking, no way. I'm not looking at it. I am not seeing that right now. But I did. So
Yes.
is that part of what we talked about earlier that they have to broadcast something that what their nefarious plans are somewhere they got to broadcast it before they
Yes.
implement it.
Absolutely. But you know who started that was God. He told his prophets what he was going to do. The Bible tells us that. And so the satanic forces have to abide by God's rules, and that's one of the rules.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Now
they're telling us.
that is a thing I'd like to know too. We know the end of the book, and we know who
Yes.
wins. Um, and so with all these plans that are being rolled out, and there seems to be some sinister plan to thwart God's will, but God never lies, and His word is always true, and it's not going to happen in the end. So don't they know that, or are they blinded from knowing that, or they know it and they're just going to keep trying anyway, just try to inflict damage on the way out?
I think that they may believe their own lies and arrogance. Look at Lucifer, Satan, and then the fallen angels. So, you know, I think they believe it. Either they've got so much arrogance, pride, um, that you just it doesn't matter whether it will or not. He wants to take as many of God's people as he can.
Yeah.
But just remember, everyone, that no power, height, depth, anything can take you out of Jesus's hand, but you can remove yourself
Oh,
from his protection. So you are the only person that can take yourself out of his protection.
okay. So how does one know if one has taken their self out?
Well, you just don't have anything to do, and you basically have had a relation. Let's say you've had a relationship with the Lord. It's like a marriage, and you just say, "No more. I want nothing to do with you at all." and maybe even go to, there's a plethora of gods and goddesses out there now.
Pick one.
So, yeah, just pick one.
Mm. All right. Well, hopefully nobody has done that is watching this show
Yeah,
here.
no.
So I think I have, let me see. I might have that picture of that DNA thing. I'm going to try to look that up while we're talking. Okay. So we have a comment here. It says, I had a strange fluorescent bug on my arm. Its nano needle got me. I watched as the poison went in my arm and I was dying. Now that don't sound like a good thing to happen to somebody, Celeste.
No, it doesn't. But that's the reality that we're all facing, that in the days to come this year, there will be mosquitoes, ticks, hornets, yellow jackets, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that have different types of toxins and vaccines in it.
Okay. I think I don't know how good this picture is going to show up here, but that's
I
the,
see it. I see it.
yeah. So there you
That
go.
is amazing.
Now you can plainly see, you can even see the bars between
Yeah,
the
you can.
strand. Now tell me that is not something that is out of this world. I mean, beyond. I mean, there's a message right there. That was like right above my house there, and but like when you look at a DNA strand, not only has it got that sort of windy thing, but there's those bars going across, and
Right.
you can see the bars on those clouds.
That is amazing.
And that particular cloud, as you can see, is going against the wind, so that was dropped there in the form of a DNA thing. Somebody that's you talk about messenger RNA. There's messages in the sky. Could that be considered an end time signs in the sky?
I don't know if it would be an end time sign in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
Although, did you see the plane that did this?
Nope, it was just there, and so
Because so I have a new take too. Is what about ma- uh, a, holography that has manifested?
mm,
Because we have so many particulates. So one day I was out doing my thing in the garden when I lived in Montana, and I looked up, and there were like two sets of mountain ranges. And
mm-hmm.
I go, there's only one set of mountain ranges. But it was really smoky that because there were some wildfires in the area. So I went in and I did some research on holography, and with the particulates in our sky, which they're there for the very purpose to allow the Antichrist to do signs and wonders,
Mm-hmm.
such as this. This
Mm-hmm.
might be an example. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but
Okay.
it could be of a manifestation of a holographic figure.
Okay, so I want to know people that are watching the show. Our communication line is the live chat. So if somebody watching the show in the live chat, can you see the DNA strand bars going across there? Now somebody suggests it's photoshopped. I will put my hand on the Bible and tell you that is not Photoshop. I took that picture myself right above my house. So there is no Photoshop at all in there, and I wouldn't lie in such a matter, of course, anyway. But there are, and that's the thing too. I do understand that question because there is a lot of stuff out there that is photoshopped. But I took that picture myself when I saw it. I said, and I thought, me and my wife were looking at it. I'm thinking, we are not looking at that. I am not looking at that right there. And of course, now nothing is as clear as what you see. I mean, I just no matter what. In fact, that's the problem with society. I can't find a phone that can take a clear picture of the moon. It's always just a blur. But anyway, if anybody can see that, those okay. So if Jade says she can see the bars, that's all I want to know. If somebody else can
I
see
can
it,
I can see the bars.
yeah. Well, that's impossible for clouds to do that.
Yeah,
It's literally
yeah.
impossible. I saw it and I took the picture and I said, I am not looking at this. So that's really, you know, um, it just tells you that things are not as they seem, that people are in control doing things that they shouldn't, and their plans are so diabolical, you don't know in what form it's going to come out or play out. And it sure does seem to me that somebody is announcing something, but now if you and there's several people in the live chat are starting to say yes, they see it clearly. I could probably blow it up, but I'd put it in another program to do that. So yeah, I mean, I took that picture myself. I I got floored with it. So that just, I mean, but like I say, we're talking earlier about agreement and announcements. And, my particular view is they blew up the Georgia Guidestones, Celeste,
Yeah.
because the Guidestones say they only want 500 million people in the earth. I believe it was deliberately done as a notification, mark in time, saying we have now in place the plan that will make that happen. So our job is done. No monuments needed. We have achieved our goal. Not that they've reduced the population, but they have got the plan in place, and it's activated and it's working, and we're going to see that. So they just blew it up, which, by the way, it's one of those strange things, kind of like a plane hitting the Pentagon. 118 cameras, and all you get is only picture you can see is one dated for the next day, and it's a little puff of smoke of supposedly a plane. So it's the same kind of thing with the Guidestones, which had 24-hour surveillance, and all they show is a car somewhere, and who knows what that car did. Then they show it blown up, but they don't show anybody going over there and planting explosives. And it was a crime scene, and they demolished it before the crime scene, like the Twin Towers. I'm just on a rant now. Yep. As soon as they fell, they got big cargo ships and started hauling the steel off to China. And you think, wait a minute, this is a crime scene. There could be indications of foul play here. Maybe they need to leave it there, and see if there's thermite maybe or some kind of weird thing. But that's the same thing with the Georgia guys. They blew it up. The video wasn't working. Kind of like Jeffrey Epstein, his camera failed that was supposedly watching him, and two guards claim they fell asleep. Okay, all right, sure, whatever. I'm done. Go ahead.
I agree. It's operational. I believe the same thing, and I did tie it between 9/11 and the Georgia Guidestones, and they did the exact same thing with them. They took them to other places but it is operational, the depopulation. So we all have to be aware of that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Doreen8951 says, Celeste, will 2023 bring more pandemics?
Yes.
So we're thinking they've already got one in the cooker, don't we?
Well, so they're feeding the livestock around Kansas area the most lethal pathogens in the world in the animal feed. And these things always get out. They always get out. So I believe there's already 10,000 cattle that died in that area. It was like 100 miles or something like that. And it's interesting. And then there were some cattle that just died and went missing in Colorado. And I was listening to the cattlemen, and they were talking about Clostridium. Well, the interesting thing about that is there was a weaponized strain that DHS and Johns Hopkins went into partnership with, and I covered it, and it was on Steve's site, maybe about 2010 to 15, somewhere around there. And then 2 Decembers ago, there was a Homeland Security webinar, and they said, oh, we think that there's going to be a big outbreak of Clostridium. And Clostridium, for those of you that don't know, causes paralysis. So they were saying that they felt that their cattle had been exposed to Clostridium. So
well, that's another one of those unexplained things. 10,000 cattle died the same day, and what kind of explanation we get? Nothing. Saying it was hot outside.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was the big kickoff of the bioweapon lab, and it was interesting. So at about that same time, now it only one news blip. So with Plum Island, I can get all the information on research or whatever they're doing at Plum Island, but this new bioweapon facility, not so. They don't do news briefs. They don't have any news out, but there was one contract. It was Synbio company, and with the logo of a scorpion,
No,
scorpion
why,
syn,
there you go.
scorpion Synbio. And get this, if they made 144,000 liters of anti-anthrax toxin. And it's like, that's a biblical number. They did that on purpose. And
Hmm.
and with the scorpion whole thing, and you just go, I don't know.
Well,
I
there,
don't know.
there it is. That you're right. That is a magic number. That's an attention getter, kind of like this thing in the background. I did. I was able to. I did try to blow this up a little bit. Let me. For somebody to ask, could you blow it up a little bit? So that's enhanced photo there of the thing. Clearly, it does have bars going across, and it's twisted like a
Yep,
DNA
it
strand,
is a double helix.
double helix. Okay, so speaking of bugs, I guess you're not going to eat none, but what are the locusts in the Book of Revelation?
I think that they're xenotransplant. I think that we might be able to take it literally these days. Um, they're demonic, but I think it's a form of xenotransplantation, which is the crossing of various species.
Mm. All right, sounds to me like there's going to be some chimeras things running around here. All right, Believe says, Celeste, when will these things be in the end of the world?
You mean when is the tribulation?
Well, I don't know. Is that different from the end of the world?
Well, the end of the world is at the end of the millennium. So that's at least 1,000 years out.
Okay. So,
So
but when did that 1,000 years start?
well, we haven't, when Jesus returns is when it starts.
Oh, okay.
So
See,
we haven't been through the tribulation and we still got 1,000 years. Then it says we'll have a new heaven and earth.
okay.
And I think it's because it's so polluted that even Jesus is going to have the time of it. And
All right.
there has to be a new heaven and earth.
All right. Our bear, who gives us the bear report of good news every week, has this question, Celeste. Have you heard the inner Earth's core is changing its rotation? What's up?
Well, it it's not really. It there's debate among the scientists. Some say it just goes, just
Mm-hmm.
very quickly. And the inner core is spins really fast.
Mm-hmm.
Other people say that it goes fast and then it slows down. So it really seems like it's not a new phenomena. It
Mm-hmm.
has been going on. There is there's geologic evidence and all
Do you ever
the
see the movie?
sensors
You
and
ever see
stuff.
the movie The Core?
I haven't seen the movie
It's
before.
it's good. It's a good movie. Yeah. What happens is they're trying to develop a new weapon, and the government, U.S. government is, and they drop it into Earth, but it stopped the core from rotating, and then birds started falling out of the sky, planes started crashing. They had to go down in the core. They had to refire it to get it going again. So they brought a bunch of nukes, and they were setting off nukes all around in the liquid. But they had the advanced technology. They had the ship made with it was made of unobtainium, and so it could go through liquid molten metal. All right, so I'm getting another one. By the way, welcome Starry Sky and Mickey V. If I didn't mention you, Sneaker, all joined in the live chat. Um, so we talked about the social media score. We talked about the mark of the beast. Um, I know some people say that the way to sort of survive these kinds of things is create your own community. Is that something that you subscribe to, or do you think that people in that little community of survivors are eventually going to turn on each other?
Um, I think that now it's a good opportunity to form a community of like-minded people. But don't be surprised if we're people and we see things different. And as things get more difficult, then people do turn on each other.
Mm-hmm.
But then once we're through a great deal of the trials and tribulations we're going to have to go through, then people are going to realize that they really have need each other. And I think that then they'll be more amenable to just, overlooking some things that in the past they may have been upset about or whatever. You're not going to have that luxury to be offensed at different things,
Mm-hmm.
especially little things. Your survival is going to depend on you and not us. I mean, I'm in a bad position, really, with no family and in a town of 49, and they're elderly, and there's no people that actually do anything here except farming, and it's all GMO farming.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
All right. So I know that you used to live in Montana, right?
yeah,
Okay. So now you live. You said North Dakota, didn't you?
yeah.
Okay. So inquiring minds want to know, man. How did somebody say, "Hey, I got a house for sale"? Called you up. I mean, how'd you end up there? You don't have to say if you
My
don't want to either.
Well, my producer lives 30 miles away. And I couldn't get anything in Montana. It was a hot real estate market. The place that I had rented for 15 years, they sold for 52 million.
Now
So,
I know you had quite a garden set about there. Are you able to recreate that where you're at now, or is that a no go?
well, I'm starting. Yeah, people are amazed. I actually pulled out plants this year because I did a lot of public speaking and a lot of traveling this year,
Mm-hmm.
and the Lord tended my garden, and I which I was had so many. I mean, I've got, if I you could see over here, I got a bunch of squash in the back
Good,
on
good.
my freezer. So, and then plus I put up a bunch of squash. But yeah, I had a great garden, and it will grow. But all of those of you that have to move due to one situation or another,
Mm-hmm.
you can't build Rome in a day.
Mm.
And so I think I've got
Well,
maybe
wait a minute, wait a minute. Can this producer install stoves?
no,
We can't. Okay,
no,
okay.
no.
Just
I
just
wish. I
just
wish.
just checking. Just checking. All right. So there's been a lot about the price of eggs these days. It just seems that we've mentioned they're gone after meat. They've gone after the lobster. Um, they want us to
They
eat
went out.
They want us to eat
They
bugs.
want.
So obviously they're trying to get the chickens, and
Yep.
so the eggs are ridiculously priced now. People are saying on eBay, trade you a Jeep for a dozen eggs. So so they're saying it's inflation, but I have a conspiracy theory of my own on that because
All right.
there is widely available out there lists of hundreds of egg producing companies that just burnt down in the last year or so. Then you add about 5 million new eaters that just joined our country. I believe that's what's causing the egg shortage, hence the egg price inflation. Does that sound realistic?
Yes.
And now in other places, they're trying to force people to have cage free. If you have chickens, they're trying to say they got to be cage free, which will shut down an unknown amount of egg producers. And then they're saying, oh, wait a minute, we got an avian flu going on, wipe out the whole herd, 7 million, 10 million birds, whatever. They keep going around doing that. It seems they're going to get to the family farm. I raise chickens, and our girls are always putting out some eggs, so we appreciate them. They got a nice little kingdom going on in there. They got nice bedding. They got things to do. They got toys to play with. So they're kind of handy to have around, And but anyway, I think that's my conspiracy theory. In fact, I just read the other day that 1% of the population of the United States has just come into the country. 1% of the total population is the amount we just added from the southern border. So imagine by the time the old crypt keeper in charge and president, the crypt keeper, when he gets done, I imagine we're going to have 5% population increase. But now, just recently, I just read today some general saying that he expects us to have war with China by the year 2025, and he says he wants preparations done immediately. They want them in place. Now, Celeste, we know that the powers that be, they're going to take care of themselves, and they ain't going to take care of us as common folk out here. So how we protect ourselves from nuclear blast?
there's not a lot of, I mean, you can do the bunker thing, but that's going to have its disadvantages in the days to come.
What
So
what about 50,000 sunblock? That would that help?
I don't think so. I don't think so. You could just hope that you're under the thing blast so that,
Yeah.
you don't, the radiation sickness doesn't
Now
get you.
I see somebody there says my eggs are the cost of my chicken feed, which has gone up about $6 for a 50-pound bag in 6 months. Now, obviously, you want to if you're feeding chickens, you want to offset with table scraps. I mean, especially if you're eating natural foods and stuff, But
Well, and they eat bugs
well, they eat
and
bugs. Now
the
they can eat the
things.
bugs. If
Yeah.
well, let them eat bugs.
Yeah, let the eat chickens eat bugs. And by the way, I have an idea for all of the your followers,
No,
including yourself.
okay, sure.
You need camouflage chicken coops. You need to camo your chicken coops,
Hmm.
because there's going to be people that are going to eye your chickens. So you're going to have to be clever. You know how they disguise the cell towers? They look like
Yeah,
churches or trees.
I
Now you're going
got
to
you.
have to do it. You're going to have to do it. And I went, and I'm not going to name her name, but she's a doctor. She actually has chicken wire runs through her yard, and they're all camoed, and the chickens run through. She rings a bell, and they know that that means food, and they come running through, and
Wow,
it's kind of fun.
that's a.
But she's got, it's kind of like tunnel rats, only they're tunnel chickens.
Mm. I saw a video the other day. Some woman had her chickens trained. She yells hawk, and these chickens, man, they just go scatter. She had on the 30, 40 chickens. It's the funniest thing you ever seen. They go just start running, hawk, hawk. By the way, I mean I had a hawk get in my chicken coop one time, and there he ate a chicken head, and then he got on my chicken swing, and he's just swinging back and forth. He had a good meal. Now he's taking his time off there. So but yeah, I mean it was a hawk thing. So I mean as far as camouflage, I guess I would need it because our chicken coop looks like a Santa Claus land. It's got a green roof, red and white. I mean, we put Christmas lights on it, and so I mean, it looks like Santa. But maybe that's it though. Somebody said, "Well, that's not a chicken coop. That's a Santa house." So
Yeah, yeah.
whatever camouflage is working for you, Celeste.
I guess I haven't thought about a Santa house.
Yeah, yeah. Put
But then
Christmas
they
lights on.
might think there's presents in there, so you better watch out.
Mm.
They might do chicken presents.
I see somebody in the live chat said they ring a bell and their chickens come running. Our chickens come running if they just see us. If they spot us, man, they'll fly because they know that a table scrap or some little snack. We like to give them snacks. I mean, who doesn't like a good snack, Celeste? So, I mean, are you able to have chickens where you live, or are you building up to survivability now, or are you kind of at a
No,
level can't
because
work?
I moved to Naziville and I didn't know that. I'm in the farm country, thousands and thousands of acres of farm country, and they won't let you have a chicken.
What?
No, not in a town of 49. Oh my God, you can't have a chicken.
You
They
can't
were
have a
ready
chicken.
to, they didn't want me to have my dog. They were ready to shoot her on the first day that I got here.
Who are these people over there? Is it about 89 of them?
No, there's not. There's probably 50 or,
4950.
yeah.
4950 old kooks running around that area. They got some kind of angry grudge.
I don't know. It's bizarre. Because I know that it's not my social skills after my trip, so it's not that. So
Well, see, somebody in the live chat is questioning me, saying the chicken hawk only ate the head. Well, it is true. The head was very tasty, and that's all the bird wanted. That's all the hawk wanted was just the head. Maybe they wanted the chicken brains out of there, and they got their fill. Maybe the chicken beak got stuck in you know. But anyway, so we got self prepare. And I know
yeah.
you've sort of been a prepper for a long time, and it's sorry to hear that your life got upended like that. And sounds like beyond trying to rebuild, there's all sorts of obstacles that keep trying to get in your way. Is there any
Yeah, but
possible?
I did get the garden, and so, and I'm working on it. It'll get bigger and bigger every year. So,
What
and
what
it's just,
what would you consider a superfood? What's the best thing out there for nutrition? I know
Well,
you're not a nutritionist, but hey,
I'm a keto person. I like my meat and my veg.
okay,
And
okay. So keto, all right. So now does that keep you slim and trim and that?
well, except when I go on a trip and have Southern hospitality.
That's the whole thing. I'll tell you how
And
we do
then,
it. Okay, Celeste. Here's how we do it. Okay, so
okay.
we got your keto going on, got your veggies going on. You over time you earn credits, and then when you go to a meet and greet like you did or something, you're going to get you a big old batch of southern cooking, and you're going to eat it and lap it up because you earned the credits. See, you talk about credit score. That's what I call your food credit score. And so once you,
Well, that works if it's a short, like you're gone for 4 days or something.
mhm.
I was gone for almost 6 months. So,
Well, I know how that is. We go camping, man. we we by far surpass our credits that we have earned. we by far, but hey, it's fun and we have a great time. So, and that's the thing. It's like the Moody Blues. I play a clip from the Moody Blues. It says, um, "It riles them to believe that you perceive the web they weave. Keep on living free." Well, to me, that means they don't want you to have fun. And it's clear. The other side, the nefarious, the devil side, the demon, the dark side, they don't believe in fun. And if somebody's out there having fun, they're going to come again you. Okay? They're going to find out what you do to have fun, and they're going to pass a law. It's just a thing. Whatever you do, you got a gas car, they're going to ban it. You got a toy airplane, they're going to ban it. If you want to go hunting, they're going to ban hunting. Whatever it is you do for fun, you go to NASCAR race, they're going to ban it. So if you have fun, and you have a good demeanor and you're happy, it riles them. It just riles them up. And I think the more fun people have, it's like I used to say, every time you smile, a reptilian loses a scale. It pops off. A reptilian will pop a scale every time you smile. So I'm telling people you need to smile because reptilians can't stand that. They're not fun havers. Okay. They and the left and the dark side, they don't have fun, and they don't do anything, and they don't like other people having fun. So we can get to them, get in a crawl if we have fun and enjoy ourselves, because we only have one life to live, and God's blessed us beyond exceedingly abundantly more than we could think. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over every day that we're alive. And I think you mentioned that earlier in the first hour. It's something to celebrate.
it is. It is. At one time, I was actually suing the government and for a FOIA request on the things that we're seeing come to pass right now. And I knew that they had it in our clutches, and I wanted the information. Unfortunately, I did prevail, but people were not really interested because it was so far off their radar at that point that they didn't. But anyway, my attorney, I had a constitutional attorney, and we're sitting there, and the first thing the representative from the agency goes, "You don't fear, do you?" And I said, "No." She goes, "That's unnatural." It's unnatural for me not to fear them. I mean, I grew up with my dad in the military and the government, It's like you're just a person like me, Why would I fear you?
Mm-hmm.
I did my book reports for high school at the Capitol, So it's like I don't fear you at all. Anyway, that got her riled. And then they have this little piece of paper between the agency and my attorney, and it has "if" on it, and they're pushing it. If this, and if that, if this.
Wow.
It was pretty intense, but I agree. I think we need to not let part of our survival pack that isn't going to cost us anything is a smile and acts of loving kindness
Mm-hmm.
that we can give to other people.
Mm-hmm.
We can be humans and give to people. That's what I do. That's what I do day in and day out, whether it's in an article or a video, or
Mm-hmm.
somebody has a problem like something that they can't figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just help brainstorm with them.
So,
So it's a blessing.
all right. So to give an example, how liberals they can't have fun for they can't crack a joke, they can't smile, they're always angry, and they don't like anybody that is. Okay, so here's an exact example of that. So me and the wife we were out camping in our about 20 foot pole behind, and being the cowboy that I am, and let me put this thing in here. That guitar right there, that's my actual guitar. And so I put it in there. That's Photoshop right there, okay? But that's my guitar. So anyway, so I always play around the campfire. And most campers love it. You know, they come, some sing, some come over and do karaoke and whatnot and have a good time. Well, one camping trip, this guy comes over dressed. He wasn't dressed in camping clothes. He comes over and says, "Hey, stop playing that. It's too loud." It's an acoustic guitar. For one, it's a campground. You can't play acoustic too loud. And so I go, you know, I was quite surprised. And so he went to his, back to his camper. And I heard his wife say, "You did not tell him to stop playing." And he goes, "Yeah, I did." So I knew that his life was going to be hell because the way she talked to him like that. Well, he was in his $150,000 Mercedes-Benz camper. One, that's not camping. If you got driving around $150,000 Mercedes-Benz, just because you got it doesn't make you king of the campground, pal. But I'm over here having fun, and he don't like it. And I can't help it. His life is miserable, and he's married a woman that's going to give him hell the rest of his life, you know. But to keep your misery to yourself over there, pal, you know, I'm going to go play my song. So anyway, that's another thing there. Well, Celeste, hey, man, I'm so glad to have you back on the shows and we catch up. You're one of our favorite guests and a longtime friend, and we go way back. And so, anything about your website or books or speaking or anything you like to say to kind of wrap this thing up? You go right ahead.
So people can support me at celestialreports.com and my articles, and I will be coming out with some doozies this coming week. Like I said, it'll take me a few days for this one. It's a dense one. That's at shepherdsheart.life, and that's my blog. Of course, I'm at Rumble too. We are YouTube refugees over at Rumble. And so it's my Rumble handle is Celeste Solum, one word, no space in between. And that's where you'll find me. And I don't have anything. I think this year I'll be going west. So if you're in the West and you're interested in having me speak, and Texas is very interested. Plus I have to go catch up a few people in the northern tier states, from Indiana to Wisconsin. I really did scoot home because of this whole two situation. So anyway, I might do that this year too. So if folks are interested, if you're interested, if you have a question, Celeste at celestialreport.com.
Okay, well, Celeste, I appreciate you coming on the Edge broadcast. Thank you again so much, and we'll have you back on the show.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Say hi to Susan.
I sure will. Thank you.